You're listening to the Body Contouring Academy's Proven Profits podcast.
Your source for non-invasive body contouring. Here we reveal the blueprint to generate more revenue and realize the profits you want.
Stay tuned to hear insightful interviews from industry experts and successful business owners on what strategies they use to grow their body contouring practice.
Hi everyone, Kay and Shannon here. You know what a tough condition cellulite is to treat? Well, that problem may well be history. Stay tuned for our discussion with Delaney Mills of Artemis Distribution today as she tells us about Endospheres Therapy.
Here with another episode of Proven Profits Podcast. And we have our Delaney back with us today. And we're so excited to her about cellulite and new endosphere treatment.
So Delaney, in case some listeners on board today, thank you, by the way, for coming back. It was so exciting to hear about CryoSkin. But for the listeners who didn't get to meet you and learn about your company last time, would you please introduce yourself and tell us everything that they missed?
Absolutely. So hello, listeners. My name is Delaney Mills. I am the Director of Partner Training and Quality at Artemis Distribution. And as Shannon and Kay had mentioned, we did do a podcast interview yesterday, which, not sure when that's going to be published, but if you want to catch that, that is, a great episode we were able to record about the CryoSkin device as well. Artemis is the distributor of both the CryoSkin and Endosphere devices, soon to be joined by a third device, which is currently in pilot phase called the Plason. We really aim to be a partner in aesthetics and wellness, and our mission as a company is to build a community of successful entrepreneurs who empower their clients to be confident in their own skin. So that really is our guiding principle, and on that note, I'm just so excited to share some more about Endosphere Therapy with you all today. So just a little bit about the device itself, just to kind of get us started. Endosphere Therapy was really developed as an evolution of existing body treatments in order to innovate and improve treatment outcomes. At Artemis, that's really important to us that our technology is very much on the cutting edge, continues to improve based on changes in the industry, and Endosphere Therapy is a great example of that. So Endosphere Therapy treats the body using a patented compressive microvibration technology, which I know sounds like a whole mouthful, but we'll definitely dive in a little bit deeper to that to, gain a larger understanding. But essentially what it does is it reduces cellulite, it helps to enhance lymphatic drainage, increase blood flow, decrease aches and pains, and increase muscle tone. So the therapy was developed and tested with the help of Professor Pier Antonio Bacci in Italy, who is one of the world's leading experts on cellulite. And Endosphere Therapy also touts one of the industry's largest clinical studies with 656 participants. And from that study, reported a 97.8% customer satisfaction rate and achieved an average of 39% reduction in cellulite, which, for a pathology that affects 9 in 10 women on average, that is an amazing set of numbers.
That's impressive. That is very impressive. So what about, maybe, could you give us a little lowdown on cellulite, like the causes, so when we're discussing Endospheres Therapy, we can understand why it's so amazing?
Absolutely. And this is something, whenever I'm talking about Endosphere Therapy, I always cover cellulite, what it is, how it's caused, how it worsens, as well as just cover a little bit of information about the lymphatic system, because that's the real way to really understand the amazing benefits of Endosphere Therapy. So cellulite is an aesthetic pathology, which affects an estimated, like I said, 90% of women. So 9 out of every 10 women report experiencing cellulite. It does affect some men, but much rarer cases, just based on the difference in the structure of the connective tissues between men and women. So cellulite is really characterized by, on the outward appearance, a dimpling of the skin, which is caused by fatty tissue, so that hypodermis layer, pushing through the fibrous bands, which are called septi, that connect the skin to the muscle. So essentially what it is the weakening of the structural matrix of the skin, so that extracellular matrix. A common misconception is that cellulite is only a pathology that affects women who are overweight. However, that's not the case. It is not just something that affects women who are overweight. It affects 9 in 10 women regardless of their body type. So, typically what's happening within your subcutaneous layer is your fat cells are small, tightly packed with collagen tissue bands that run between them to keep them in place when homeostasis is existing in the body. However, whenever there's external or internal factors that disrupt that homeostasis, unfortunately in our modern world, there are plenty of these to go around. The alteration of that tissue and that extracellular matrix occurs, which then produces the environment for cellulite to really develop or worsen. There are many contributing factors to the development or worsening of cellulite. Some are still unknown. It is still, a pathology that is being constantly studied by varying experts, Professor Bacci being one of them. But the main known factors are excess fat or weight gain, so that certainly is a contributing factor. Poor circulation, hormonal change, water retention, age, genetics, poor diet, and unhealthy lifestyle, particularly smoking, is definitely a risk factor there with the worsening of cellulite, as well as any accumulated toxins or a sedentary lifestyle as well.
Well, that's a lot of that describes most people today, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what you mentioned the lymphatic system. Tell us a little bit about the lymphatic system, what it does, how it works, and how it's so intertwined with cellulite.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, sort of one of the key factors in cellulite is that stagnation of toxins, as well as the lack of homeostasis, particularly as it relates to fluid balance within the body. And so your lymphatic system is crucial to retaining that balance in the body, that homeostasis, as well as moving toxins through your body in an efficient way. And so really ensuring optimal functioning of the lymphatic system is not only one of the keys to a beautiful body, but it's also vital to a healthy body. A healthy lymphatic system is going to help ensure detoxification of the body, balance of fluids, a healthy immune system, which as we all know is a very hot topic right now, as well as tissue regeneration. Unfortunately for your body, unlike your circulatory system, so our cardiovascular system, which has our heart as that active pumping mechanism, so sleep or wake, rain or shine, your heart is pumping blood through your body without you having to consciously think about it or make decisions in order to allow that to arise. However, your lymphatic system is not so lucky. So it does not have an active pumping mechanism and instead really depends on lifestyle choices and exercise, movement, breath, intestinal activity, muscle action to create that lymphatic flow and push those toxins out of the body. So, in that sense, when we're talking about body contouring treatments, even separately from Endosphere, a healthy lymphatic system is actually crucial in order to achieve optimal results for most aesthetic treatments, including, of course, the cryoskin, which we spoke on in the previous episode. So it is just, such an important body system and one that's so intrinsically linked with the remainder of the systems in the body as well.
It's so refreshing to hear discussion of the lymphatic system because we feel it's pretty much underappreciated and underrated and undernoticed in a lot of the non-invasive body contouring world. And this is great to hear. So are we, I guess Endospheres Therapy utilizes the lymphatic system in its treatment?
Absolutely. And so I'll just dive a little bit deeper into the technology and the application of the Endosphere Therapy. So we actually have two devices within the Endosphere product line. We have the AK sensor, which is a body-only device. And we also have the AK sensor all, which allows for the treatment of both body and face with a specialized addition of a facial handpiece. But essentially how this is working, as I mentioned previously, is based on a patented technology, which is called compressive microvibration, which helps to employ the transmission of low frequency vibrations by a special handpiece containing a cylinder that is made of hypoallergenic silicone spheres in a specific honeycomb arrangement. And that honeycomb arrangement is very important, and we'll kind of touch on that in a second. So as the term suggests, compressive microvibration is a combination of compression and microvibration. So essentially how it works is you have your specialized Endosphere handpiece. The rotation of the spheres within that handpiece at a given frequency is going to produce that microvibration effect. So just small vibrations in the tissues. While the weight of the handpiece and the pressure or lack thereof applied by the technician is what's going to actually govern the compression on the tissues. The honeycomb arrangement, as I mentioned, is really essential because that is what is allowing for a rapid alternation between pressure and lifting, which is what is actually generating the wave of localized vibration on that tissue. The treatment area for Endosphere Therapy ranges from the outermost layer of the skin down to the muscle. So it really is a fully encompassing treatment. When we talk about Endosphere Therapy, we talk about it in the sense that it produces 5 actions, which can't be separated from one another. So every treatment that you perform, your client is going to receive these 5 benefits, and they can't be separated from one another. So, regardless of what their treatment outcome or their goals are, they will always receive these 5, which are number 1, pain relief, number 2, lymphatic drainage, number 3, improvement in circulation, number 4, body contouring, and number 5, muscle toning. The real thing that differentiates the Endosphere from other devices is that it really works on the root causes of the issue, and aesthetic results are just happy consequences of the therapy. So when we're talking about lymphatic drainage in particular, how Endosphere is really helping with that is it's moving excess water and trapped toxins towards the major lymphatic ducts in the body, where they can then be cycled out of the body with more efficiency via the lymphatic system. Again, that increase in blood flow that comes with the treatment is also very impactful on not only, the rest of the body, the tonification of the circulatory system, but it also does help stimulate that lymphatic drainage as well. So it's just such a highly impactful treatment.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. So how many treatments is there? What's the treatment time on a typical protocol?
Yeah, absolutely. So Endosphere body treatments will range anywhere from 45 to 75 minutes, just depending on the protocol or combination of protocols that are applied. Endosphere facial treatments will typically range anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, again, just really depending on the consultation and what the individual's skin needs. As far as the recommended number of treatments, in terms of packaging, given that Endosphere is really, a whole body treatment, and the fact that it is working on those deep root causes of the issue and not simply the aesthetic symptoms, it is recommended that the client starts with, an absolute minimum of a series of 12 sessions, which are recommended to be performed twice weekly. For the facial therapy, just given that it's less of a whole body effect and it's very much more localized to the skin, muscle, and circulatory and lymphatic system of the face, that is recommended to be performed in a series of 6 treatments, which are performed twice weekly, typically is the recommendation, although that might be increased to 12 as well, depending on the desired treatment goals.
Well, that makes sense. Is there a certain minimum time that they can be spaced apart when they're done twice weekly?
Absolutely. So they're recommended to be spaced 48 hours apart. The reason for that is that Endosphere Therapy continues to work in the body for the 48 hours following the session. And so we want to avoid any type of redundancy. It's not that there's any danger in doing them more frequently. We just want to ensure the, optimal efficiency for our clients and optimal effectiveness. So we would recommend a minimum of 48 hours between sessions. However, we do have clients that come in more frequently than twice a week. We have some clients coming in 3 times a week, some clients that are only able to make it in weekly. I would say a minimum of once a week for the series is typically recommended, but twice a week is really that optimal sweet spot.
And is there any downtime, or when can patients resume normal activities?
So one of the other amazing things about Endosphere Therapy is that there is no downtime after an Endosphere Therapy treatment. You know, your clients can really continue with their day feeling revived and rejuvenated. Typically the feedback I get from Endosphere clients coming off the table is that they just feel light, they feel refreshed, their legs are not, sort of feeling so stagnant and swollen. They really do feel that benefit, and they feel that detoxification starting to happen in the way of increased urination and increased regular bowel movements. So those wellness benefits they're really feeling right away. But absolutely fine to resume normal activities right away. As with any lymphatic drainage treatment, it is just recommended for clients to see how they feel afterwards, particularly their first treatment. You know, some clients might feel a little bit tired afterwards. That is typically an indication that they really, really needed the treatment because there's a lot of movement of those toxins. So we just typically recommend that they, make sure to be well hydrated and, if they're going to be exerting high energy, just to kind of take it easy and pace themselves. But next day, they're back to business.
And what does the actual treatment feel like?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I always say think foam roller, but on steroids. Treatment is, it's very painless. It feels like a light, lovely massage. The client can actually feel that rotation of the spheres and the vibration, but it's a very enjoyable treatment experience. So it is, a treatment experience that's also progressively increased in intensity. So every client, regardless of their treatment concerns, moves through a 3-phase treatment approach, starting at low intensity, moving into medium, and capping off with high intensity. So that really helps to mitigate any potential discomfort as well, because the body is really prepared properly for moving into the high intensity phase.
Well, that sounds like a good feature.
Yeah. Do you use any creams or gels with the treatment?
So there's only one consumable product with the Endosphere Therapy treatment, and that is the Endosphere oil. It's a specific oil that's been designed to not be viscous enough to damage the handpiece, but also to provide enough glide on the body where there mitigates that level of friction between the rotating cylinder and the client's skin. And you only really use a very, very small amount of oil per treatment. Using too much oil can actually be disruptive to the treatment because we do want to produce a little bit of friction. That's how we're getting that compressive microvibration effect. So the only consumable is that oil. And again, you're using a few drops of it per treatment.
What kind of lifestyle modifications or, I guess, changes in their home life in between treatments would help with the outcome?
Absolutely. This is a fabulous question and something that I always really emphasize in our training for our technicians and operators of the Endosphere device to take on side. So, I would really always recommend increased fluid intake as being essential. So really ensuring that they are getting the appropriate amount of water, particularly per day. I typically recommend, 1.5 to 2 liters as a standard, but honestly with water, the more the better to be able to actually pass those toxins out of the body with more efficiency. Additionally, of course, with any lymphatic drainage protocol, anyone looking to, have benefits with cellulite, to have benefits with fluid retention, with toxin buildup, I always recommend modifications in the way of a balanced diet and lifestyle, making sure that they're integrating appropriate exercise for their body, making sure that they are, trying as much as possible. I know it's really difficult in our modern diet, but trying as much as possible to avoid refined sugars. Those are really my main top tips to really get the best possible results.
And when will the results be seen?
This is a great question. So, managing expectations with clients is such a crucial part of the Endosphere consultation process. As I've mentioned previously, given that this treatment treats the body as a whole and works on aesthetic issues at their root causes, the client will actually see their health and wellness benefits before they will see their aesthetic results. So I typically break down expectations based on the 3 phases of the treatment protocol. So typically each phase will last about 4 sessions based on a series of 12. In the first phase, which is that low intensity phase, that's really the preparatory phase for the client's body. So they should really expect to see, initial health and wellness benefits, release of endorphins, reduction of pain, anti-inflammatory effects. That's really what we're expecting at that low intensity stage. They'll also start to notice likely some changes in their overall skin tone and texture as far as the actual elasticity of the skin. In the second phase, which is that medium intensity phase, the client should start to expect to feel a real improvement in that health and wellness. So continuing improvement in health and wellness, and also really start to see reduction in any stagnated fluids, particularly if they tend to retain a lot of water in the abdomen. I find that is really when we start to see that fluid retention, starting to dissipate. And then in that third phase, so that final phase of the treatment protocol, that high intensity phase, that's really when the clients should expect to feel all the benefits of the previous 2 stages. So all of those health and wellness benefits will continue to be impacted, but they'll also start to see some really impactful aesthetic and athletic performance benefits to the therapy as well.
That sounds really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking I need that.
Yes.
Yeah. I will say,
yeah.
I will say for the benefit of our listeners here, I will say that the endorphin release aspect of the Endosphere therapy treatment does make it highly addictive. So even after your clients move through their series, and I'm sure that Kay and Shannon, you might want to know about the maintenance recommendations, so I can talk to those as well. But even if they have moved through their series, you will still have clients that want to come to you twice a week, regardless of what you recommend, because they just love the way that this treatment makes them feel. Additionally, for any clients that are either on a weight loss journey, so working out very frequently, or even that are just purely athletes, the athletic recovery benefits, the performance enhancements that we've seen with this device are extremely impactful. We have many professional athletes opting to use this service for that recovery, that, removal of the lactic acid buildup, for oxygenation of the blood and the muscles. So, it is just such an incredible treatment for such a myriad of different applications.
Yeah, it sounds great. So I'm guessing because of the lymphatic support and all the support that this treatment gives the body, that this treatment actually is very complementary of many other treatments. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's highly complementary to so many treatments. Because we are a Body Contouring Academy podcast here, I have highlighted specifically the aesthetic complements. And so it is a highly complementary treatment, particularly with fat loss procedures, especially those that rely on the lymphatic system to pass fat cell debris out of the body. So cryoskin, as we previously mentioned, there's a myriad of others that similarly utilize that method of evacuation of that debris out of the body. So this would be recommended as a part of any combination package, not recommended to be performed on the same day. At Artemis, within your education, we would provide you with, very specific instructions around wait time. However, it is also very highly complementary and can be performed on the same day as RF treatments, cavitation, M-sculpt. Also, for any injectors listening, the Endosphere is a fantastic complement to an injector's toolkit. So the AK Sensorol in particular, with the specialized facial handpiece, that facial therapy may be used prior to Botox injections to prepare the subcutaneous tissue for infiltration. So it really helps to reduce the areas of hypercontraction, improve circulation, and speed up cellular metabolism, which can help to improve Botox outcomes. So if you are an injector, it is a fabulous complement to add to your roster as well.
I would never have been thinking about that, but that makes total sense.
Yeah, absolutely. With any aesthetic treatment, is the healthier the body is that's receiving, the better the results are going to be, particularly the health of the tissue. So when we're speaking about aesthetic treatments, we're typically either speaking about treating tissue, so treating the actual fat tissue, so the subcutaneous fat layer, the hypodermis, or we're talking about treating other, layers of the skin, so either the epidermis, the dermis. And we're speaking about improvement in circulation. So we're speaking about, the blood vessels, the vascular system, the circulatory system. So we're taking a look at all of those things. And the Endosphere treatment has the benefit of just absolutely balancing the entire body and creating this environment of homeostasis where the body will just naturally lean towards, an improved aesthetic outcome. So it is just a fabulous treatment. As far as how long these results will last, without maintenance, results from the Endosphere will last for roughly 4 to 6 months after the initial series. However, if that maintenance is not performed, the client would need to start over at the low intensity stage at that point. For that reason, because age, genetics, and lifestyle are the primary determinants of these issues that we're treating with Endosphere, results will be long lasting, but they will fade without maintenance, which is why maintenance is really recommended for best results. And with Endosphere, the standard maintenance protocol is very, very straightforward, 1 to 2 treatments per month. After 8 to 10 months of maintenance only, it's recommended that the client receives another series of 6 medium to high intensity sessions before just returning to the maintenance program. So after their package of 12, the maintenance program is actually very, very straightforward. But I would say you're going to find that a lot of your clients are going to want to come in more frequently than once or twice a month because they will just feel those health and wellness benefits, and they'll really, really miss that feeling of the treatment. So, it is definitely something that is extremely impactful. And we've had some just incredible client stories, really, really touching stories come from the pain relief, from the cellulite, from all of the benefits of this device. So it's been truly amazing to watch it in the U.S. market.
Well, with this feel-good effect of these treatments, a maintenance schedule wouldn't be hard to sell. Oftentimes that's a hard sell, but it sounds like with this, it'd be an easy one.
Are there any risks associated with the procedure?
So as a non-invasive treatment, Endosphere actually carries very few risks, just so long as the operator is carrying out the treatment correctly, as well as just providing a comprehensive consultation to each client to ensure that they have no contraindications. So typically very, very low to no risk. Typical side effects might include redness or heat in the treatment area. However, that's how we know the treatment is doing its job, because the hyperemia or the sort of increase in localized blood flow has been generated. Mild itchiness, similarly, due to that sort of increase in blood flow, and then also increased urination and increase in regular bowel movements, although I wouldn't call those last two side effects because it just is such a great, just a great visual that is actually really working in the body. You can really feel and see that your body is detoxifying more effectively after the treatment.
Yeah, sure. You keep mentioning about the education that you give your partners and the teaching that you do. And we learned a little bit about this when you were talking about skin, but I want the listeners today to hear about your awesome program.
Absolutely. So I will start just by listing out sort of the 2 options that we have for prospective Artemis partners that are looking to add our products to their business. What really makes us unique as a business, and with a very unique part of our value proposition, is that we do offer a subscription option with a no-risk 30-day free trial period and no minimum term for any of our devices. So that is a great way for your listeners and anyone else to sort of bring the devices into their business and just make sure it's the right fit before committing. We also have a buyout option at any time, and 50% of your subscription payments are applied to that buyout price. We also do just have a straight capital purchase option, so that is available on all devices as well. But that subscription model really is what sets us apart. As far as the training that we provide for Endosphere in particular, and really for all of our products, we have a hybrid online and in-person training certification process. Purchase partners, so if you do wish to purchase a device, you would receive 1 free on-site training with your purchase. We also have 5 training centers for Endosphere across the U.S., which provide training free of charge to subscription partners and for the ongoing use of our purchase partners as well. We also have a full suite of training and educational materials that are available through the Artemis portal that all of our partners have access to. And becoming an Artemis partner allows you to be part of a growing community of business owners. So we are at about 1,500 plus at the moment, rapidly growing, and you also get access to that community where you can share best practices, tips and tricks, and really get some amazing advice from other business owners who have integrated Endosphere within their company. We also do recommend the integration of Endosphere and CryoSkin, which are the 2 products that we currently offer. We have seen some businesses just do such amazing work with those 2 devices, and the impact on the end clients has just been astounding to watch. And so Shannon and Kay, I will send you through those before and afters so you have them to attach to this episode, because some of them are truly mind-blowing.
Yeah, very exciting. Yeah, I can't wait to see them. So I asked this question about CryoSkin, same question about Endospheres. You have to be a physician or have a physician in your business to deliver this treatment.
Yep. So the answer to that is no, because this device is registered with the FDA as a Class 1 device. So a physician is not required to either purchase or operate the device. So that level of licensure is not required with the Endosphere, which, really does lower the barrier to entry for those of you on the call who don't have medical oversight or are not MDs yourselves. It really does allow for you to offer this incredible treatment without that barrier to entry.
It's amazing because you get the results and the benefits like the devices that we require patients.
Absolutely. So we're seeing a real swing in the industry, in the aesthetic industry at the moment, towards these types of treatments that are aesthetic treatments that pack a serious wellness punch. So I think that Endosphere is just the perfect example of that type of a modality and really the direction that the industry is moving in, especially coming out of this pandemic where immunity, health, wellness, that's really on the front of everyone's mind. So I think it is just the absolute best time to add this type of a modality to your business.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yes. Did we miss anything that we need to know about Endosphere, Delaney?
You know what? I don't think so. I think we covered pretty much everything around Endosphere. I could, obviously I could geek out for hours and talk about all of this. But I think just leaving the listeners off with, kind of a reminder of the main applications for Endosphere. So, barring those with contraindications, there is not a single client that would not benefit from Endosphere therapy. It truly is a full body treatment for beauty and wellness. So, as we mentioned, there are health, wellness, and aesthetic benefits. So the primary aesthetic benefits are cellulite reduction. That is the number one. Obviously, the clinical study proving that 39% reduction in cellulite is very, very significant. Muscle toning is also an aesthetic benefit of this device, collagen and elastin production, improvement in hyaluronic acid production in the facial treatment, which is huge, body contouring, reduction of fine lines and wrinkles, reduction of bloating and fluid retention, as well as the reduction of excess fibrous tissue. For health and wellness benefits, we also have a slew of those, which are pain reduction, anti-inflammatory action, again, muscle toning included in that because of athletic performance, athletic recovery, improved lymphatic drainage, improved circulation, as well as the movement of any stagnant fluids and toxins. So to cap off, just most important thing to remember is that Endosphere Therapy treats the root cause of the issue, not just the symptom, which is what makes it such a holistically impactful treatment.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. So before we let you go, could you give us a sneak preview of the new machine that's coming out? What is that going to be for?
Absolutely. Yes, so I'm excited to give you a little bit of a sneak preview. So we are currently in pilot phase with a really exciting aesthetic device called the Plason, manufactured in Korea. It is just an incredible device for the treatment of active acne. It is one of the only treatments that can be performed on individuals with active acne who are currently on Accutane. It is a It is a non-invasive device. It is incredibly easy to apply for the operator. The results have just been incredible. It also helps with transdermal delivery of serums. So it is just an amazing treatment that I cannot wait to hopefully get on an episode and talk to you about when we're a little bit further down the line. But that is a little bit of a teaser. I will say, being someone who struggled with acne as an adult, it is such an emotional journey. And I would have done anything and everything in my power to get a treatment like the Plason. So I'm just so excited that we are, looking at a device like this.
It sounds groundbreaking. Being able to treat acne with patients who are on Accutane, unheard of. So
exactly.
I hope we're one of the first to know when it's available, so we can get on and talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. I will definitely keep you posted.
Well, thank you so much, Delaney. Again, we appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure. Thank you all, and thank you all listeners. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Shannon and Kay, for having me.
Thanks, Delaney. Talk to you soon.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed the show, please find us on iTunes and leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at bodycontouring.academy, and you can always find us on Facebook too. Please email us at info@bodycontouringacademy.com with any feedback, topic suggestions, or to offer to tell your body contouring success story.
Thanks so much for listening. Have a great rest of your week, and as always, and until next time, beautiful wishes.